Once a folk hero, always a folk hero.
Folk hero!
Live presented by Audi. Visit your track to get by the wheel of yours today. Alongside Bart, Scott, Willie Colon, Connor Rogers, and Steve Gelbs. Hey, they don't make it easy, do they? They never make it easy. But I wish you could have seen the reaction on this set as that field goal was going through. The kick goes up.
Not optimistic.
In unison, we all went, I missed it. And then, Willie, do you want to just go with what the reaction was after that?
We got it! Okay, we won.
Listen, there are a lot of good things that you could talk about in this game as the Jets win for the third time this season. Now 3-9 on the year, 30-27 the final. Adonai Mitchell flashed big time, first 100-yard game, first career touchdown. Tyrod Taylor, especially down the stretch, utilizing both his arms and his legs to get the Jets tied and ultimately get them the victory. But I think, why not? Let's go. We're going around this way all the way back to Bart. Nick Folk, he has been phenomenal this season at age 41.
Ageless wonder at this point. He knew exactly the kind of kick he had to hit in that. It was a low line drive, kind of snuck it in the bottom left pocket right there because let's be real, at this age he doesn't have, that booming kick that we see from guys like Aubrey on Dallas and stuff, but he had enough leg on it. Really well done, even if the Jets almost screwed it up there on that final drive with the false start. That's not great. You got to clean that up. But Adonai Mitchell, game ball to me. This guy is playing for the future of his career, and he's out there getting open, nonstop, finishing plays. That was a problem the first time we saw him. Catching the ball from Justin Fields is not catching the ball. In this game, he was finishing plays. Tyrod leaned on him. He was the primary read over and over again, and the defense did enough in this game. Bijan Robinson had a day, but they did enough to keep the opposition in check. And listen, at the end, it got a little hairy there, but throughout the game, we saw some better decision-making from Aaron Glenn, signs of growth from a young coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Willie, before you go, 27-24 the final, not 30-27. My fault.
Yeah, the first half was a snoozer, but the second half seemed like both teams kind of got in the rhythm. And, listen, for an old guy like Tyrod, when it's cold, it's rainy, and, you're trying to figure it out, I thought he competed. Yeah. I thought the offense responded to his energy. But you got to give Nick Folk all the credit. You miss a big kick, the game is on your leg, and you pull through. So I played with Nick. I know Bart did, man. We're happy for the old fella to finally get the game winner. It's good to see.
Yeah, you talk about this is what you want to see. You want to see competitive football. You want to see the mistakes limited. Would you like to be better against the run? Yeah, but, B.J. Robinson is a special back. And, Kyle Pitts was their leading receiver. So, to be able to come through at the end, to be able to make enough plays. I thought Mechie struggled today a little bit, right, with the drops, and I'm sure that's something that he'll go back and he'll try and work on. But the fact that you get the victory at home in bad conditions, you didn't let that become a problem. You talk about the special teams continues to be special. Yep. You talk about, the muff punt, that's from the punter and its weird kicks and stuff like that. And then Isaiah Williams, with the big return, you would like to see him kick through and get the touchdown. But, he got there, and even at the end, right, he just needed a couple yards, positive yards. I think he made a mistake in not fielding the first ball before and pinned them back and kind of messed them up where they had to kind of concede. But, this is one that, the team should feel happy about. They came out, it was wet. Nobody likes to play when it's wet and cold. We hate these type of games. They usually used to happen to us, Willie, when we were in Cleveland. It's like it's always wet, the grass is cold. But they found a way to stay positive. And, I thought Tyrod did enough. And I thought, this is a good team win, solid against a solid opponent. Yes, I know their record doesn't dictate that they're a good opponent. But, this is a team that had high expectations, that's playing with their backup quarterback, but still have a lot of talent out on football, even though Drake London wasn't there. But then we're less Garrett Wilson. So,
I also want to say this. We're critical of Aaron Glenn on a lot of levels, man. This team hasn't given up on him.
No, they have not.
And so I think that needs to be said. You talk about you lose some of your star guys. The record doesn't, seem like you have anything to fight for. You're really ready to plan your Sandals vacation. But, the last 2 weeks, man, we've seen this team really kind of knuckle up and put their foot in the middle of the ring and bang it out. And that's something to be talked about and praised. So.
And it felt like the line was so good for three quarters, and then that last drive, they started to feel a little bit overwhelmed in the pass script. And credit to Tyrod Taylor when they did, because he escaped a couple of times and bailed out a couple of guys and made a play. He still showed the mobility there as well. So just overall, I thought still a solid day for them despite that tough final moment. The deep ball touchdown to Adonai Mitchell, the pass pro was perfect on that play. So we're just seeing steps from young players in key spots, and that's the most important thing of this season right now. The wins are nice, but growth from young players is something that they hope carries over to next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the growth from the young players is the key. But if you look at at today's game, it was a couple of old guys and Tyrod Taylor and Nick Folk at the end that pushed him over the top. All right, Tyrod Taylor joking about the fact that the young guys on the team don't think he has the legs still, but he showed it today, and he also showed again that arm still there. I mean, the bomb he threw to A.D. Mitchell, but one of the things that we talked about on pregame specifically when we said, all right, what do we want to see from Tyrod this week as a step forward from last week? I think it was Connor who said, hey, take more shots downfield. Yeah. And they certainly did that today, always looking at number 15.
The rules are just so dictated against you as a cover corner in the league, where if you're the offense, you're usually going to get positive results on those shots, even if you don't finish the play, because we saw the interference call that Adonai Mitchell drew today earlier. It was a ball that was short, but the corner carried him forward, and that's interference in this league. And then you look at this one, kind of a one-on-one coverage situation for Adonai. If the corner falls down, he kind of fields it like a punt deep down the field. So it's worth taking those shots down the field. It puts stress on the defense. It forces them to sit on their heels, and it opens things up underneath, guys.